I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's 7thescore.com, doubletsportsnetwork.com, alongside Josh Foppel. I'm Chois Woodman, Clint Scott, and intern Logan across the way. I don't feel like we've gotten to know intern Logan yet. Logan,
might be true.
What are your sports teams?
Important.
All Dallas teams, and
That's mostly the right answer.
but, we're rocking with all Dallas.
Okay.
Cowboys winning it all next year. Just kidding.
Okay, I was like they usually drug test our employees, but not the interns. I'm a Cowboys fan, but man, I am so
Jaded.
yeah. It's the worst I've ever been with this particular.
I think
franchise.
this. Yeah, I was about to be surprised, but then I thought about it for 2 seconds, and I was like, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
this year probably more than the past few years. Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it just keeps getting worse and worse because you're just
Do you feel any better?
stuck in mud.
Do you feel any better about after this season, given that like cap space in theory is going to open up? It's not, because Micah Parsons still has to be signed.
No, yeah, it's not.
Never
going
mind.
To. No,
Never mind.
no, get rid of him.
I lied.
Trade him.
I lied.
You could have You could get a king's ransom for Micah Parsons and really actually make the team better all over the place. And then you don't have someone that's just talking crap all the time about your own team.
Yeah.
So I know you'd be getting rid of an elite pass rusher, but yeah, I would take that in a heartbeat. Okay, Logan, intern at Tech or LSU? LCU or LSU?
Tech.
Tech, okay. That's good. Did you grow up a Tech fan? Where'd you grow up?
This is oh gosh.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if I should say who I grew up with, but I'll say it. So
Where did you grow up?
I
Because
grew
that
up-
has an
I
influence.
grew up in a Texas family.
Okay. Okay.
I was much more of like a college. I followed all the teams.
It's at a conference now. It doesn't matter that much anymore.
Okay, what city are you from?
Dallas.
Okay. Makes sense. Like actual Dallas proper or
Suburb. Yeah.
where?
Wiley.
Okay. Pirate?
Wiley Pirates. Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
There we go.
Nice.
All right. So we're getting to know Logan. Yeah, but it's okay. You can grow up in a family full of sinners. It's all right. No worries. Jesus came for the sick. It's all right. We're good. We're good. No. All right. So College Football 26. This new video game comes out, I believe, around a month from now.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the range of that.
I wonder if it accounts for the newest transfer window too, or like opt-outs. Just
I think they do updated rosters.
okay.
So they will continue to update these throughout. Now, wherever you start your dynasty or whatever, that's where it
Yeah,
freezes.
right.
But I think they'll update up until
Till the next release.
yeah. I mean, until the season starts. So, anyway, we did get confirmation that the Pop-Tart will be in the video game. Someone says the Pop-Tart mascot, we called my 3-year-old son Pop-Tart because he has the same chaotic energy as the Pop-Tart mascot.
Nice.
We never know what his next move is going to be because he doesn't even know what his next move is going to be.
Never let him know your next move.
Because I don't know it. All right, so top 100 players have been released.
Okay.
There are no 99 overalls.
Are there any Big 12?
The closest is Jeremiah Smith at 98 overall for Ohio State.
Okay.
This particular list is kind of hard to sift through. There are 2 Red Raiders in the top 100.
Wow.
Do you want to guess?
Well, I mean, if it counts the new cornerback that committed, then maybe him. Bailey.
Bailey is on the list. He is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think tied for 11th overall.
And then
He's a 93, by the way.
It might be obvious, and I'm just missing it.
Tied for 12th overall. I don't think it's obvious. I think there's some routes you could go when it comes to Tech guys.
I don't have a second guess. Probably
Jacob Rodriguez.
Okay, yeah, I'm surprised top 100, but I'm for it.
He's a 91 overall.
Great, awesome.
I don't think it's obvious necessarily, but I think if you were asking most people who are the top two or the two best players for Texas Tech, those are probably the picks that most would log. So those two guys are in the top 100.
Nice. That's cool. I wouldn't have suspected either of them, actually.
Well, Bailey being at 12th overall is pretty darn impressive. So other players that are listed, Lee Hunter comes in at 89. So at 93 and 91 for Bailey and Rodriguez, respectively. Lee Hunter's 89. Terrence Carter, who is your new tight end from Louisiana, is an 88. I did not expect him to be that high. Vinny Scurry, offensive lineman, 87. Pretty high because he may not even be your starter. Reggie Virgil, 87. Baron Morton, an 87. That's pretty high for your quarterback.
I briefly thought about that, but I didn't think that that they would put that much respect on Ben Morton.
I didn't either.
Baron Morton.
He is a senior though. Davion Carter, 86. Quentin Joyner, 86. Sheridan Wilson, 86. Caleb Douglas, 86. Romello Height, 86. Coy Aiken, 85.
Dang.
Skylar Gill Howard, 85. Mo Horn, 85.
Not a bad receiver room if you pick Texas Tech.
They've got Ben Roberts at 84. Micah Hudson in at 83.
Not a bad receiver room.
So they actually put Reggie Virgil ahead of Caleb Douglas, by the way. Yeah, I think I heard Jeff McGuire say that the receivers are the position that's the least position for Texas Tech. I don't think I agree with him because
I think it's
I don't know how deep you are, but I guess that's the conversation. Because I think you've got some depth, but as far as proven starters, pretty good looking there.
Yeah.
Virgil, Douglas, and Aiken.
I agree.
Dante Balfour, new corner there. Chapman Lewis and John Carlos Miller round out your top players for the Red Raiders on the rankings for this.
Good stuff.
So, anybody interested in getting the video game? Someone says it'd be interesting to get a copy of the 1926 first annual SAT and see how it compares to today's scores.
I'm sure you could probably find it.
You think?
They probably catalog it somewhere. I don't think they probably catalog it year over year, but at a certain point they probably started to and probably continue to. Like they're probably not going to have the SATs for the past 5 years, but I think study SATs are previous exams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right. Sooner in Lubbock says, LOL, you need a quarterback that cannot turn over the ball. I assume you were talking about Dak Prescott and not Baron Morton. Baron didn't turn it over much. Dak, he goes through his phases. He'll lead the league in interceptions or be very conservative with the football.
Yep.
And actually not throw it enough. So we've seen every side of Dak Prescott, and none of them are
great.
Yeah, gleaming. There are millions of people talking trash on the Cowboys all the time. Why should Parsons be any different? No reason to trade him. Won't get better when he has so little time left on the contract. Would be a wasted trade.
Well, I think the bigger thing. So
he's still under for 2 more years, I think. Right?
I think it's just one.
Is it just this season?
I think so.
Okay.
But I think the bigger thing is the expectation, especially for the Cowboys. This isn't to say it would be the same for any other team, but especially with the Cowboys, the expectation is that they're going to re-sign him. And not just re-sign him, they're going to make him a top 5 at his position because that's just what the Cowboys do. And that is detrimental to the Cowboys' salary cap. But by and large, that's the expectation.
Yeah. Y'all continue to chime in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We will return to a few of your thoughts coming up. It is the bottom line with you till 3 o'clock on 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Happy Monday, y'all. This is the bottom line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. 100.7 The Score mobile app. Powered by Happy State Bank. Chois, Woodman, Josh Foppel, Clint Scott. With you from the First United Bank studio. Y'all can continue to chime in if you'd like to do so through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. Want to remind you that we're not giving out any more words of the day, but you still have a chance to win some cash if you join us out at the Soggy Dog on Thursday.
What's funny about this also is that Clint had mentioned the Soggy Dog in like
Just keep talking
like
through it,
two or three times, and I had never heard of it before. And then I just started seeing it everywhere, absolutely everywhere, and then this promotion started happening.
There you go.
At the Soggy Dog.
That's coming up this Thursday, June 26th from 6 to 8. So we're going to be giving away $10,000 in cash and some other stuff too, right?
That was total. So the total promotion.
$2,500 in cash. I just read the.
Yeah, right.
I'm Ron Burgundy over
the
here.
whole thing was
$2,500. Are we giving away? Is it like the last one? I don't know.
Yes.
There's gift cards and
yeah.
other
There
things
is other giveaways.
Like
and
there's
stuff.
It's not just the grand prize of the $2,500. So if you come out there, you're going to have a chance to win something.
Correct. And you still have chances
just
to
have a
win
good
even
time
if you didn't sign up. You will still have an opportunity to enter the grand drawing and
there
stuff.
you go. But you do have to be present to win the $2,500. So if you've signed up throughout this and you want your shot at winning,
You're already qualified.
But you need to be there.
Yes.
So
At the Soggy Dog. Is it the Soggy Dog or just Soggy Dog?
I think it's Soggy Dog.
Soggy Dog.
All right, people are going to turn this sucker away.
I'm legally obligated to click it every single time.
Every time you say what?
Wet pooch. I guess it still applies. All right.
And all variable nicknames that could be used.
Addendum.
Where the heck do we go right now?
Oh, great. Fantastic.
What do you want to talk about?
What did I want to talk about?
Yeah, you had something.
I did?
Oh, no, draft picks. That was it. So,
Is this a Kevin Durant thing or is this a Michael Parsons thing? Or
no, this is ESPN's.
Oh.
So Matt Miller and Jordan Reed, they're two of the draft people for ESPN.
Okay.
They're not the main two.
Okay.
But they have gone through and analyzed the top 5 prospects in college football at each position. So the most likely to be drafted in the 2026 draft at each position.
Okay.
Texas Tech on this list of top 5 prospects at each position has 3 different players listed. Do you care to venture a guess at who those 3 are, the most likely to be drafted in the upcoming draft?
Other than Jacob Rodriguez, I don't think I have another guess.
Rodriguez is not one of the 3.
Yeah, Bailey.
David Bailey.
I have no idea
Maybe is there another defensive lineman on there?
Lineman, yes, not pass rusher.
Because I would have went Lee Hunter.
Lee Hunter is on there.
And then I would have guessed a running back just off of grades.
So according to Reed, Hunter is the 4th most likely defensive tackle or best defensive tackle. Bailey is the 4th best pass rusher.
So is the 3rd Red Raider, is it Quentin Joyner?
It is not Quentin Joyner. It is not a guy that I think any of us would have guessed. Now we just went through all the. I did mention him in the top list of Red Raiders, but he was not super high up the list when it came to. He had the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8th best rating in the college football game coming up. Tied with Quentin Joyner, Sheridan Wilson, Caleb Douglas, Romello Height.
Tied with Caleb Douglas. I'm trying to think of the names that you had around that.
He's rated an 86.
Secondary piece?
No. An offensive lineman, Davion Carter.
Oh.
Cool.
He is listed as the 5th best guard.
Okay. Well, that doesn't seem too crazy.
No,
I mean,
but I think we've collectively would probably go through about 10 guys ahead of him when we're talking about best
Caleb
Red
Douglas,
Raiders.
Cole Wisniewski. I was about to, what you're saying, I was about to go through a whole list of other guys before I got to him.
Which, by the way, I've said this for months now. Cole Wisniewski, I think, is the most underrated Red Raider of your signing class, of your portal class. And I just went through all those almost 20 names.
There's a story idea.
I think I may have already done it.
Oh, okay.
A few weeks
I'll go
ago.
read it then.
It's probably been a month or so. But the guys that aren't getting talked about enough on the team, I think, is what it was. And I just went through the 20 some odd names on this college football 26 ratings list, and Cole Wisniewski is not on that.
Wow.
He's not in your top 15 to 20 guys.
Not getting him a love.
Yeah, I think there's a number of reasons for it. He was hurt all of last year. I think that's the main reason. He does come from the FCS level, but it's North Dakota State, so we kind of give them a pass. Anytime someone comes from North Dakota State, we're like, oh, okay, doesn't matter. That's like FBS football.
That's championship pedigree right there.
It is. I mean, we do that, and sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't. But I mean, this isn't just some small kid. This is a 6'4", 200-plus strapping safety that led all of college football in interceptions 2 years ago. So I think, again, he's getting overlooked more than anybody, and I think he may be your most impactful defensive back when all the dust settles. And you've got some good ones.
Nice.
On the roster. All right, y'all continue to chime in. Someone says, where is Morton's durability? LOL. And someone else responded, is Chuck texting in?
I don't understand this because I get all the conversation, but also he started every game last year.
That's what I kind of don't understand as well. I get that he had shoulder surgery. And this was a popular topic a year ago of, okay, can you have a quarterback start all your games in a season? And you finally get the first one in 7 years to start every game for you.
Minus the bowl game.
Well, but that's the thing. If it was a more, not to discredit the Liberty Bowl, but if it would have been a more meaningful game, he would have played in it.
He played in it, and he would have delayed the surgery. Yeah.
And that's what I get. Like, you have the shoulder surgery, so then everyone just like, oh, yeah, all those 12 games he started, something we've been asking for, since Nick Shimanek, and even then he didn't start every game. He could have, but just for a health reason. Finally get it, and you're like, oh, well, shoulder surgery, not durable.
I mean, for a guy to start all 12 games in a season, it has been Patrick Mahomes. That was the last one before Baron Morton. And that's what I don't understand about the durability conversations and questions as well. He's coming off of his most durable season. This isn't Tyler Shuck. Like, that's the thing. I think we're so jaded by Tyler Shuck,
3 years in a row,
who
didn't finish
broke
the
an
season.
ankle or a collarbone every single season, and we're so jaded by how that went down that we've almost linked Baron Morton at the hip with Tyler Shuck, and I just...
Is it because he missed the second half against TCU?
Well,
yes.
Yeah.
It's one game, one half.
I told you.
I don't know. I don't understand it. I do think that you're going to see the best version of Baron Morton we've seen. And by the way, last year's wasn't bad. And the last 2 games that he played were the best 2 of the season. When, by the way, Taj Brooks had already had the rushing record in his pocket, you unleashed your quarterback, and he led offenses to back-to-back 50-point games. So I'm not going to understand it. I think Baron Morton, which I just saw a ranking, I think, by Sports Illustrated that put him as the second best quarterback in the league, which is the highest I've seen.
The league? Or, yeah, okay.
In the Big 12.
Yeah.
So,
Who was the first on that list?
Sawyer Robertson. He's kind of consistently going up there with Sam Levitt.
Uh-huh.
It's the bottom line. Josh, have a good rest of your day. Roll on 100.7 Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Happy Monday, everyone. This is the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. 100.7 The Score mobile app. TV, Fox 34 News Now, YouTube, Roku, Apple TV, 950 on your AM dial. There's lots of ways to take us in. However you're doing it, we are glad that you've chosen to make us part of your Monday. Alongside Jamie Lint, I'm Chois Woodman. Clint Scott across the way taking care of us. You can also hit us up. If you got thoughts, comments, questions, bring those in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app, which you can carry anywhere with you. Even listen in out in Gun Barrel City, Texas.
Seems to fit.
I don't like that they added city. It feels like they could have just went with Gun Barrel, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there already was a gun barrel. I don't know.
Gun Barrel City Town.
Yes. Covering a lot of ground in that first. Say that again.
Incorporated.
We went through several different things in that first hour. We're going to talk a little baseball here in the.
Can I jump in on your basketball conversation a little bit?
Absolutely. The question on Christian Anderson?
Yeah, I think the only thing that really worries me a little bit, like you said, I think is absolutely fair to think he was really good as a freshman, and we've seen so many freshmen before get better as they go along, but he's basically learning a new position, or he's playing a new position.
As a point guard?
Yeah, I mean, he was not a point guard last year.
He ran backup for you at times, but you didn't have to do that very often.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I'm not saying – I'm saying he could do it because –
I just think it's a bigger jump than you think it is.
I think –
and I think this roster would be a lot better with a more pure, true point guard.
I don't disagree. But I guess my point is that it still can be done without a pure point guard. Your your Final Four team in 2019 didn't have a pure, true point guard. You had a combo of guys that ran that. Jarrett Culver would bring it up. Davide Moretti would bring it up at times. Matt Mooney occasionally. Yeah. You had guys that would all kind of do some of it.
Yeah, I don't know if this roster is quite as special as that roster, but those were some pretty good players you just mentioned.
I don't think.
Well, my question is who, if you're doing the platoon style, is it Donovan Atwell? Is it who's also would be not playing in his natural position at that point? Is it like, boy, this Lawan Watts guy can do everything. He can facilitate the offense too. Or are we going that route? I'm not worried, but I'm interested to see. Okay, if it is that way, who's option one, who's option two, or is it truly like 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, I wouldn't say worried either. I just don't think it's nothing to see here, like Chois kind of insinuated.
Okay, I didn't mean to insinuate that.
Yeah.
I think I do this at times. I blindly.
I think
trust coaches because of
that's fair.
What they've done.
But I think what Clint said is fair in that you have a bunch of guys that's kind of their off position. They're going to be sharing that role.
Sure.
Yeah.
But again, I think that's what you had in 2019 as well. I don't think you had anybody. I guess Davide.
Yeah, I would kind of look at Davide, but
truly, he's the best when he was a 2 when he can catch and shoot.
Yeah, he's
so
playing off other guys, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't mean to, I guess, slough it off and say that it's not a big deal.
Slough, good word.
I didn't mean to insinuate that and say it's not a big deal. I guess it's just more of I really trusted in Coach McCaslin. I really think that you have compiled. Again, you've got the 10th best odds to win the national championship with what you've got right now.
Sure.
It doesn't mean if you could get Henschel eligible.
Which just doesn't seem very.
It's looking worse and worse.
Yeah,
as
it's
time
not
goes
looking
on.
likely at this point.
But if you could get him eligible, even get him eligible at semester, if
can't we
that's
just
a
buy
possibility,
him a transcript?
It does seem like you could do that nowadays, right? What they got? Those can't be too much on eBay.
Clint's T-shirt stand, we're selling them, but there was a typo and it's transkipped, so just don't look too closely.
Transkipped. Yeah, I mean, again, if you could get him, absolutely want Henschel here, but the likeliness of that is looking less and less. But
unfortunately, yeah, he looked like he was going to be a really fun player to watch.
Someone says, I think we definitely need a true point guard to be a great team. We were spoiled because more often than not, Jamie, we haven't had a true point guard, what you'd call a true point guard, in the last decade plus. You haven't had that normally here. You've had Elijah Hawkins, you've had Keenan Evans, you've had, where's the list go beyond that, of guys that you would call a true point guard?
Who is the left-hander that had played for Oklahoma and played for like Washington or somebody else up there?
The left-hander. Oh, yeah.
He was here 1 year.
I'm blanking.
1 year.
I got it. I'm seeing him.
Seems like he wore a headband.
He did
Harmon,
wear a headband.
Davion Harmon.
Davion Harmon.
Golly,
Yeah, wasn't
a while.
he a true point guard?
Yeah, I guess.
He was a true point guard that I thought shot too much.
He was
Yeah.
yeah.
And what about
He
the
was
transfer?
a point guard on the depth chart.
Yeah, what about a transfer from West Virginia?
I guess when I think of
Another point guard that I
Yeah.
thought shot too much.
You haven't had a point guard
So
who
I should-
actually facilitates the
facilitator
offense.
is what we're looking for. Yeah.
Elijah Hawkins was kind of a one-of-one from what you've seen over the past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, Elijah Hawkins is the best facilitator you've had on campus since Keenan Evans. I don't think there's much question about that.
He might even be a better facilitator.
Probably
than Keenan
was.
What killed me about like Davion Harmon or anyone like this, it's
Was
not
their
their
shooting?
Well, yes, but no, they get labeled as offensive point guards, and I was like, no, they're shooting point guards or scoring point guards.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
depending if they're not scoring that night, then they might not be scoring point guards. But Elijah Hawkins was also an offensive point guard. He just wasn't having to take a billion shots and just suck the air out of the offense.
And there were a couple times I remember thinking that let's shoot a few too less threes there. But
Sure.
yeah, but you're going to say that
it
about
wasn't
anybody.
to the case of the other ones.
I was a big fan. Truly was a big fan.
Yeah. And that's the thing is those point guards just don't exist that much, especially in the college game, the true facilitators. So the ability to get Hawkins last year was probably your most underrated transfer get. I mean, we didn't talk about him as much as some of the other guys, and, man, he turned out to be one of your absolute key pieces to get where you got to. And you didn't replace him immediately. Hey, are we still sure that he can't get his eligibility back? What's the...
Gus and I were
What's the
talking
word on
about
that?
that the other day because for a week that was such a big story.
It
where
was.
the 5 years what was up in the air, and everybody that would have been eligible for it was putting their name in the transfer portal, and people were like, why is Elijah Hawkins putting his name in the transfer portal? And every single school had one, and then that story just like disappeared. It was just gone. Poof.
Hey, we continue our summer series of blind projections coming up next. Brigham Young University. We're picking games, every single one. See how the bottom line feels about the Cougars. Coming up next, we'll talk some baseball on the other side of that. You're on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Appreciate you hanging out with us on this summer month. Bottom line on 100.7 The Score and 100.7thescore.com. Chois Woodman, Jamie Lentz, Clint Scott, all with you. And it is summertime. Summertime. Is that your summertime jam? Like,
I don't know. It was just a summertime song.
I thought you were coming in with like summertime.
okay, that's
Yeah.
what. Yeah, that's
Will
where
Smith.
I thought you'd go. I figured that would be your number one. All right.
Actually, I would have guessed for you it's a cruel summer.
It's a good one. I mean, that's in Karate Kid.
Yeah, that's why.
Bananarama.
I didn't know that until you said it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Bananarama. That is actually a music group, not just a word that Chuck uses.
Right.
Yeah, it's a music group.
It's real.
Does he actually use that? Or
Yes, he says he refers to people going Bananarama. That means they
Instead
went
of
crazy.
just bananas.
No, they went crazy.
I don't
so
think I've
like
ever heard.
the Coastal Carolina first base coach, after he saw his head coach got tossed, went a little
Bigger head
Bananarama.
ever?
Oh.
Coastal Carolina first base coach?
Kind of had a potato head thing going on.
It's pretty big. I don't know. Bruce Bochy's head is enormous. I don't know. That umpire behind the plate had a pretty big head too.
And the helmet. I mean, wearing the helmet like he wears the helmet. I mean, it did. Did you not look at it and go, "That thing has had popcorn in it before"?
It did kind of look like if you had a yarmulke
gosh.
as a baseball helmet, it would have been that. 'Cause it was about that size.
Save some time. We will talk about the
Did you
Coastal
grab
Carolina
your toddler's
stuff.
helmet and put it on?
But right now we've got to get to our picks for the summertime.
Summertime.
Jamie is up first.
Exciting.
Clint is our swinger today.
Yeah.
All right.
He's in the fishbowl.
Week 1, BYU. By the way, to recap, we've got Arizona going 3-9. We've got Arizona State going 9-3, 7-2. And right now we have BYU. Or, sorry.
At 0-0.
At 0-0. We have Baylor at the top of the league at 10-2 and 8-1. Somehow you guys picked that. I must not have been part of it. All right, BYU.
Also, by the way, still BYU has not issued a statement on Jake Retzlaff. For what it's worth.
Yes, that is pertinent to this conversation.
So it leads you to believe that he's going to play.
I think the deeper you go into the summer without hearing anything, the more I'm like, he's going to play.
Hey, you and I are in Frisco in like 2 weeks-ish. Is that right? Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
We got to know something then. We
do?
have to. There's going to be a story, whether it's...
Sure. He's
So-
going to get asked about it then.
Yeah, well...
Well, is he going to be there? Like, do you
bring Retzlaff there?
It's such a weird
If-
No,
situation.
they will not.
Yeah, you're not going to bring him
They will not. I read a Sports Illustrated article this weekend, and they ranked the Big 12 quarterbacks,
I think I saw the same one, yeah.
and Retzlaff was like 12 or 13.
Yeah, he was way down the list.
He was
I don't
way
know.
down the
I don't know
list.
who...
They had Baron Morton number 2, so it was a great list.
I loved it.
And Sawyer Robertson 1, so...
I take back everything bad I've said about what Sports Illustrated has turned into.
I don't know.
They're
It's
they're
pretty
on it.
terrible still.
They're
Just
turning it around.
Your guy was like 6 or 7, Clint.
That's fair.
Portland State, the opening week. We're going to run out of time. Pirates? I don't know. Who? Well, do we have themes for these games?
BYU's not allowed to have themes.
I didn't think so.
Cougar Tail Night.
Cougar Tail Night,
Portland State.
free ice cream night.
Annoy Jamie in the booth now.
No, Jamie in the booth night.
Oh, you guys
Have one
just
giant
don't-
booth.
You guys just don't know how hard that was. I am such a sissy.
Hey, we have called high school games for a decade. We know how hard it is to be in a booth with a bunch of other people
I've
around.
never had someone offer me free ice cream. That would be the highlight of
true.
my season.
It's true.
It was just constant.
I have absolutely
noise,
had people come
lots
up
and
to me
lots
and try to
noise.
talk to me while I'm on air plenty of times.
Lots of noise. It never stopped. There were so many conversations going on that I couldn't unhear.
Can you pick a game?
This sounds like a description of the morning drive. There's so many
Constant
conversations.
noise.
Oh,
We're going to
gosh.
have to zip through this. Portland State.
BYU.
BYU.
Oh, just making sure you're bringing me in. BYU.
Stanford at home for BYU.
BYU.
Yeah, they don't have David Bailey, so BYU.
Even if they had David Bailey, it's still Stanford. BYU.
Stanford played TCU close last year, if I remember that correct, right?
Yes.
But that one was at Stanford.
It's like a 1-point game, if I remember correctly. Didn't TCU score late to win?
I think so. Bye week in week 2. Weird bye week for Brigham Young. Then they go at East Carolina.
I'll still take BYU.
I will take the Pirates there.
I'll take BYU.
Dowdy
Lamb Factory.
Ficklin Stadium.
Who?
Dowdy Ficklin Stadium.
What up, Dowdy?
We'll say that one 10 times fast.
At Colorado, the first week of Big 12 play.
BYU.
BYU.
I think I'm going to take the Buffaloes here.
I was tempted. Friday night game, West Virginia at home.
BYU.
I will take BYU.
I will also take the Cougars.
Then they travel down south to Arizona.
BYU.
BYU.
I'm going to stick with what I picked originally on the Arizona side and take BYU.
That is true. Correct.
I like
You're
that
actually
you can
keeping
remember.
track of your
Yes.
picks?
I just mental track. I'm trying
I
to.
have it on paper.
It's more
here.
of a brain game.
Through the first half of the season, we have BYU going 6-0 collectively. Home game against Utah.
Cougars.
Utes.
Cougars.
At Iowa State.
Cyclones.
Jamie gives the first loss. I will also say it's a loss.
Technically, I gave him the first loss against Colorado, but who's counting? Just you.
I
give me
counted.
the Cyclones.
His first loss. Cyclones. So there's the first loss collectively. 8-1 start for the Cougars. Sorry, 7-1. At Texas Tech.
After a bye week.
After a bye week. Thank you. November 1st bye week.
Do you remember what I picked?
We haven't picked Tech yet.
That's what I said.
We will soon.
I was doing the same thing. I was like, who did I take in that matchup?
We've only picked one Tech game so far, and that was Arizona State.
I'll take Tech.
I will take the Red Raiders.
I will also take the Red Raiders.
That's 2 straight losses. TCU at home.
BYU.
I'll go BYU.
I think I'm going to put the Cougars even at home on a little bit of a funky stretch. I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last year.
I agree with that.
And I think TCU is going to get somebody. So I think I'm going to take TCU to upset them.
Okay. At Cincinnati.
BYU.
BYU.
I'll take BYU to bounce back.
And then UCF at home.
BYU.
BYU. So we have...
Yeah, BYU. Thanks, Choice.
Hey, Clint, do you want UCF or BYU?
I think he just stated he wants BYU.
Okay, so we have BYU back-to-back days. Or back-to-back editions of this. We have put out a 10-2 team. Yikes. However, this 10-2 team is 7-2 in Big 12 play. We put Baylor 8-1. I don't think there's going to be an 8-1 team. I think I was the most down on BYU. I gave them 4 losses.
I mean, I also had them
1, 2, 3.
8-4.
Yeah, you had 4 losses as well. Yep.
I only had 2.
Jamie's really high on the Cougars. Now, how would this change? Heyo.
Don't do it, Clint.
Jamie, how would this change?
Again, it's pretty sticky stuff. Extremely
Retzlaff-
sticky.
I found this on the web for how old is
Hey,
how
Siri.
old has changed.
I hate that she just chimes in. Does yours not do that? Does your cougar not do that over there?
Hey, is your flashlight on?
Often. Retzlaff, if we knew today
He wasn't playing.
he wasn't playing, would it change
Yeah.
some of your picks?
I'd probably have him with a couple more losses, probably.
I think I'd go from 8-4 to 6-6.
Yeah.
I think I'm splitting the difference and saying it's 8-4. Kind of either way. We'll see. It's the bottom line. Question of the day coming up next on 100.7 The Score.
I am such a sis.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Thanks for hanging with us on a Monday. This is the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Chois, Woodman, Jamie Lentz, Clint Scott with you. I'll continue to keep those thoughts coming in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We'll get back to a little bit more of yours in a moment, but right now it is time we do a question.
Time now for Jamie's question of the day on 100.7 The Score. Brought to you by someone not named Jamie and presented by Connecticut of West Texas. Life's hard, your water shouldn't be.
Jamie, Clint, our fine listening audience. Have you ever heard of a guy named Bud Elliott by chance? This is not the question.
I have not.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know who he is?
Mm-hmm.
He's a sports analyst for CBS. He's specific to college football.
Okay.
Has a podcast, I think. Anyway. He has tabbed his sleeper in the Big 12.
Sleeper.
Yes.
And has he tabbed us as the sleeper?
No, I don't think you can be a sleeper if you're picked
Okay.
top 2 or 3.
Okay, I was going to say, that seems like an insult if he's picking us.
No. He has tabbed his sleeper in the Big 12. Dark horse, sleeper, whatever you want to call this. He has picked Cincinnati as his team. My question to you is, who is your sleeper in the Big 12? Most likely team, we'll say, to play in the Big 12 championship game that is not getting attention right now.
So this is kind of a two-part thing here because you have to
Yeah, you got to pick up who's
factor in a little bit of who you think's getting attention and who you think is not getting attention.
right.
Let me just state this. When I think of teams that are getting attention, I feel like these teams cannot be considered dark horses. Arizona State, Iowa State, Baylor, Texas Tech, Kansas State. Is that 5?
Baylor, Texas Tech, Kansas State.
Man, I know Iowa State was in there last year. It just feels like they're getting no love. I don't know. That's just me.
I just always put Iowa State in there, in the group.
Okay,
near the top.
That's fair.
It seems like they always are.
I just feel like they're the one, even though they were just there. And in some ways, you could say Arizona State too, because they're going like, well, they don't have Cam. There's no way they're making it back without Scadaboo, right? But I will go with your terms. Without
Well, those are just my terms. You can have different terms. You can.
You're giving your own terms.
Those were just
I
my
think
terms.
We should all go off the same terms.
Okay.
It probably does help if we do.
My team. Kansas Jayhawks.
I knew you. I did not mean to do this to you, Jamie.
I'll take KU all day, every day. Yeah, I think it's Kansas. There's just something about we all thought they were really talented last year, and then their quarterback falls apart. At the end of the season, they were playing really good football.
Yeah. They were. Yeah.
And
they played horrific the first part of the season.
He did.
He did, and it turned out to be a lot of losses.
A lot of one-score losses.
Yes. Yeah.
How did that team go 5-7?
What I'm just doing here, Choice. I'm just trying to put pressure on KU.
I'm for it.
It's really what I'm trying to do.
I'm for it if that's your
trying to build Clint up.
prerogative.
Thank you, Bobby Brown.
Yeah, my prerogative.
Okay. Clint, someone not named Kansas, please. You're too biased with them.
Mine might be worse because
it doesn't get worse.
I do like those terms. My dark horse might be TCU. I think they have a good enough quarterback.
Yep.
They're usually explosive with weapons. I'm not worried about them scoring a bunch of points. I think the offense will be fine. I'm just, if they can have enough defense, this is where I think it fits perfect for Dark Horse, because I think they can score enough offensively to make a run to the Big 12 championship. It's more of, can you consistently play defense? And so I know they're replacing some with receiver and the running back spot too, but I think if you went just from the quarterback alone, I think Josh Hoover doesn't get enough credit of what he can be. I thought he took a big step last year. If he takes another big step, I think they're like perfect Dark Horse territory.
Okay. Should I give someone that's like not the same as you guys?
Yeah, how about you give one that you think is really the answer? You don't have to be different. I mean, it's okay to be different. I think we've all learned that in the PSA.
I was about to say
okay.
This is PSA territory. I wish I was different.
Who
We
were
don't
your
want
five?
you on our team.
Who were your 5 that you didn't?
Arizona State,
Kansas State, Baylor, Texas Tech, and
Iowa State.
Iowa State.
See, I think
Jamie
there's
said,
one.
you shall not pick from these 5.
There's one outside of your 5 that I think would still be cheating.
I only talk in that voice when I'm talking transfer portal stuff.
I saw the decree this weekend, and I said, all hail the portal king.
So I think the other one that would be cheating would be Utah. And I think because of like Vegas odds is where it would be cheating. Right now they have tied for the best odds to win the conference.
Really?
Yeah. I think people are betting on Utah. And probably because you could get them at better odds back then.
I think it's still fair as a Dark Horse team.
Okay, then that's who I'll put.
Yeah. I mean, I think
y'all
it's fair.
think it's
I just
fair,
don't think that they're going to.
My second one would have been Kansas. Yeah, I think Utah is where I'll put it, and it's proof of a coach. I mean, that's really what it's in. I am nervous more about their quarterback situation, but like Kansas, I think that there is a big similarity between the two, and it was 1-score games last year. Utah lost a lot of close games and should have won a lot with their defense because they had a really good defense, but just couldn't get any offense going.
If Cam Rising's healthy, I think that's a team that's in the thick of the conversation.
Yeah,
at the end of the
I think
season. they're about just like everyone else that was going 2 or 3 losses in the Big 12.
I think they were at least an 8-win team if Cam Rising was healthy. Now, it didn't hurt my feelings to see them because of their arrogance of their fans, but I do think Utah will factor in this year. I don't think I would pick them to finish ahead of necessarily any of the 5 teams that you mentioned, but I think they're right there on the cusp. I do think Kansas is scary because of quarterback play. We know that he is. It's not even wishy-washy because wishy-washy to me is like every other game. It's wishy-washy for one half of the season and next.
On a stretch of being really bad and then a stretch
Flip-flop.
of being really good.
So, I mean, because the ability that is there for Daniels, it does make Kansas scary. If Retzlaff is not playing for BYU, I'm not sure Kansas isn't your toughest home game. I think BYU is the one I'd say is your toughest right now. But if Retzlaff is not playing, and I mean we're a long ways off from that game, I think going into the season, I'd say it's Kansas. That's the one that makes you the most nervous. That being said, what are we at, 28-1 all time against KU now? I still do believe there are mental blocks with teams. I believe that exists, where there are certain teams that just own other teams.
Well, if that's the case, there's a lot that Kansas football has mental blocks with.
But there's not a higher winning percentage in the Big 12 of teams that have played 10 games in a series. There's not a higher winning percentage than Tech has over Kansas. So hopefully that continues this year.
The other scary thing is they, got rid of Jeff Grimes after a season. Sorry, Wisconsin hired Jeff Grimes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that happened.
Yes.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.